Hey there. So this is my rough draft presentation for class. I'm not doing a presentation or PowerPoint or Prezi or stuff like that because I think it'd be a lot easier just to show you guys. I do collect the stuff. That's why I'm talking about it because I'm educated in it. So these are the posters that'll be in the presentation. I'll obviously have more. I just need to do a quick analysis and then I can do more ironing out. This is a rough draft. Obviously, that's why it's a rough draft presentation. Yay. Yeah, so my title is French, Italian, and German, but I'm not talking about German today because I don't collect it because I think it's bullshit, but I still have to talk about it because it's important. But this is German and French and Italian stuff in the 1940s and post-war and stuff like that. So, 7 seconds, and then I'll start. Hey, so in the 1940s, there was this big movement towards advertising and conveying a message without radio or newspaper. People would take big posters and post them up on walls, and we think a lot of stuff like billboards, but that's not how it was. They'd have to be long-lasting canvases that were really big, because you have to catch people's eyes. And it started in France. It started in 1939 exactly, and there was this movement of moving art onto the screen and onto the stage, and stuff like that. But there's a specific artist, Leonardo Cappiello. He kind of started the movement of simplicity. There was stuff already happening, but he kind of simplified it. So if you can see in these 5 right here and this one right there, they're all simple backgrounds. Of those 6, 5 of them are black and 1 of them are yellow in the background. And he didn't do a lot of complicated backgrounds. And if you see, there's a central figure in all those. In these, 4 of these 5, the vermouth, the cognac, the marine, and the vodka, they're all alcohols. And you wouldn't tell that because there's a central figure, and that central figure is not the alcohol. It's whatever is related to that. So in the vermouth, it's a woman in a pretty dress. In the cognac, it's a Sprite. In the marine, it's a green devil. In the vodka, it's Russian because it's Russian vodka. But it's not the actual product itself. It's what's related to it. In some cases, that's an important thing. So, for example, in the marine, it started out as this kind of aphrodisiac, hallucinogen, very sexy, stuff like that. But this poster changed it. It became the green devil. Obviously, if you see, it's a green devil here, but after that, people called it the green devil. That's what you would drink. If you would order marine, you were getting the green devil because you would see the green devil because it's all related to the green devil because of that one poster. That's pretty cool. It completely changed the product. And then this one right here, this is Cachat La Jeunesse. When you look at it, you see this pretty red lady in a peacock dress smoking rather seductively. And what do you think it's for? It's for coughing mint. It's for after smoking, because you would cough, you would take a mint so your cough wouldn't be as harsh and bad for you. You can tell that from there. That looks like a very pretty woman. And when you see that, you think, wow, that's awesome. I want to be like that. I want to have a mint like that. And maybe I'll look like that. And that's a really cool moment of taking a product and elevating it to a point where people completely change their perception on it. So that was the French movement. Then a couple years later, it became more of an art form, and you would have these very small posters that were really scantily and very seductive. And so this is Pierre's de la Muse. And for reference, none of these are original prints. These are, this size would never happen. It would be maybe 10 feet by 6 feet wide. These are just small reprints so that someone like a poor college student can afford it. But this is also a reprint. This is an Alphonse Mucha, who's Italian. He kind of was an artist in a sense of this. If you see in these are a lot more simplified. This is very ornate. And he viewed himself as a true artist. He took stuff and elevated it on a platform. Like a true artist, he did not work on commission. He would just do whatever the hell he liked, and if he got paid, so be it. And that's what artists did. And if you see right here, this is an ad for a beer, and you can't really tell because it's so ornate. It's over the top. There's a woman with flowers in her hair. There's this swirling of color, and it's really cool, but it's not really exactly what the product originally was, and that's what that went to. So I'm at the 5-minute mark almost, and that means I'm 4 minutes in the presentation. And since this is a rough draft, I do have to tell you that. But The next section is more on why this is important and why I'm talking about this in a communications class. Communication is, we're talking about nonverbal and verbal. Well, this is all nonverbal since there's nothing being said. But it's all about relating emotions and effects and nuances, and that's what art is. But this is more direct to an audience because it's trying to affect them. It's trying to persuade them to buy the product, to recognize the product, which is a pretty cool thing. And communication's a lot about expressing your personal self to others, and a lot of these, especially in the Capiolas, because I know Capiola more because I've studied him more in my art history classes. He was taking what he thought of the product and showing it to an audience. He wasn't saying, this is what the product is. He was like, this is what I think of the product, and this is what you should think of the product. And in many cases, it changed what the product actually was. So that's my little spiel on lithography. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm really passionate about it. It's what I study. So I think I have a good knowledge on it. Obviously, you can contradict that. Any questions?